How's it going, you guys? Welcome back to episode number 13 of Flight Time. And today we're going to be talking about tariffs. Ken, you just made a video about tariffs specifically related to Autel, but just recently DJI pretty much increased their prices across the board. And we'll get into some intros really quickly, but I just wanted to point out a couple of price increases that are pretty substantial so we can go from there. The Mavic 2 right now, let me actually just pull it up so I can see the different versions. So the Mavic 2 Pro is now $1,729. So that's about a $250 price increase. The Mavic 2 Zoom is $1,439. So that's almost taking the place of the Mavic 2 Pro when it first came out. Let's see, the Osmo Action is now $379. The Mavic Air got a price increase up to $919. I looked at the RoboMaster. I think that's around the same. It's at $549. Here's a shock. The Inspire 2 went up to $3,500 for the aircraft only. So rather than being $2,999, it's $3,499. And another substantial price increase I saw was the Phantom 4 Series Intelligent Flight Battery. I believe that went up from a price of $179 to now $199. So for one single battery for your Phantom 4 drone, $200. Ken, what do you think?
Sort of pricing them out of the ballpark now, I think. I think before, if you would ask me, what drone I wanted to buy, I would have probably said Mavic 2 Pro. But now after looking at these prices, $1,700 just doesn't seem worth it. And then when you factor in batteries, if you need additional batteries, we're now talking about $158 for Mavic batteries, $159 for Mavic batteries, which, that's incredibly costly.
Because you're going to be buying multiple. You're going to be buying 4 potential extra batteries. So you're looking at close to $3,000. Even if you want to include that smart controller, if you buy it extra, it is $750. So all of this equipment is incredibly expensive. And I'm trying to take a step back and think about who's to blame, right? And Ken and I talked before this podcast, so we don't want to get entirely political. I don't think that there's any way to talk about this topic without touching on politics a little bit, but it's hard to sit here and think, who do we blame? Because we can't directly blame DJI, considering now they're going to, they've got to somehow continue to make a profit off of these products, even though they're going to be spending more money importing them into the United States now. But also, in a sense, you've got to say, these products are so old that they've got to be making even more of a profit off of them by now, considering, even the Mavic 2 Pro has been on the market for a year. So I just sit here and I wonder to myself, why couldn't DJI keep the prices at a reasonable rate and just decrease the profits they make? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. If you would have said to me last year in August, when these were first launched, that the Mavic 2 Pro was $1,700, I probably would not have balked at the price at all, because it's something that's new, it's fresh, it's hip, if you will. I probably would have paid that. I probably would have even paid $1,400 for the Mavic 2 Zoom, because it's new. But a year later, you're now way more than the actual entry price of the Mavic 2 Pro lineup. It doesn't make sense. And the Mavic 2 Air price really doesn't make sense. At this point, just discontinue that lineup, because who in their right mind is going to pay almost $1,000 for a 2-year-old piece of tech like the Mavic 2 Air? Mavic Air. I'm making something that doesn't exist.
And you've got to wonder, even with the Inspire being as old as it is, how many of these units do you think that they have sitting in the United States, potentially in warehouses? I feel like they had a good amount of time to produce these products in China, potentially ramp up production on even smaller drones like the Mavic Air, and get as many of them in the States so that they could at least decrease the price that they had to increase. Look, if they're going to increase the prices across the board by $100, understood, but some of these products are going up hundreds and hundreds of dollars, like the Inspire 2 now being $3,500. The $29.99 price point of just the body was easy to stomach.
I think there's a bit of greed here, though.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, if you see that beginning 2 on the Inspire 2, like the 299, it's a little bit easier to understand. Like, okay, it's $29.99, but now seeing the 3 and having to pay an additional $500, it's just something in my mind that just says this is really expensive. And I wonder what the cameras are going for now. I'm gonna look that up because I know that they probably increased the prices on their Zen Muse cameras.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, is that the best of my knowledge after reading that Autel article was that October 1st was going to be the cutoff for the tariff increases. So it seems like DJI is preemptively increasing these prices beforehand. The other thing to keep in mind too is there is a vast majority of product already here in the United States. So there's product here in the United States, and chances are if you order from DJI.com right now, you're going to get something that's going to ship from one of the warehouses here. So I sort of feel like you shouldn't necessarily be increasing the price until you deplete that inventory. Maybe that's wrong of me to say, but I think if you already have product that's already been imported before the second round of tariffs, that the pricing should remain the same. It just doesn't make sense.
Here's something that I find interesting. It looks like they haven't updated the prices across their website, because I just went into the search function. I searched Inspire 2, and it's still showing a price point of $2,999. So this could be a good way at comparing prices. So right now, I'm looking at the Zen Muse X7 camera, which was originally $2,700, $2,699, and it is now going for I just lost it. It's going for $3,100. The X7. So they increased the price on that camera by $400. It's going for $3,109. And the same thing with the Zen Muse X5S camera. Sorry, I'm flipping through like a ton of different pages here. The Zen Muse X5S was originally $1,900, and now it is $2,200. And I'm also looking at the Crystal Sky here. The 7.85 inch ultra brightness is $1,200.
That's crazy.
Over $1,100 for a monitor that DJI sells that basically just relays the information from your drone. I mean, all of this equipment is so incredibly expensive now, and I think I understand why DJI wants to open up a manufacturing facility here in the United States, because it could help cut these costs back down.
Well, they initially said that it was going to be for government equipment, that the drones that they were creating for the U.S. government were going to be created here in the States. But I think what they need to do as well is step back and say, okay, how many customers do we have in, let's say, North America, United States, that are purchasing our consumer related products? And do we have, the warrant to go ahead and produce those products here locally as well, which they may have to. They may have to. And what's going to suck is the fact that you're still going to have an added cost, because anytime you produce a product here in the United States, that tariffs aside, it's going to cost you a little bit more to manufacture here. Again, that's why so many companies decide to produce overseas, because it's a lower cost. Labor rates are cheaper, obviously.
It's just insane to see these prices go up. Now I do have to admit, I didn't watch your full video on the tariffs, and maybe other people here didn't watch your video on the tariffs relating to Autel. So do you have any background in terms of what they're doing with their drones, or are they increasing the price?
So yeah, Autel is increasing the price. The Evo pricing should go up to about $1,149, and that's going to start October 1st. And again, it was $999 beforehand, but what Autel has decided to do is that certain products that they produce don't come from China necessarily, like certain batteries and charging hubs and things like that aren't produced necessarily in China. They're produced elsewhere. So what they've decided to do is that they're going to add value to the price increase. So whereas you pay $1,149, you may get three batteries. Like they may say, okay, we're going to give you the rugged bundle for that $1,149. So they want to do things that offset that price increase. They want to add value to that price without just saying, okay, you're paying more because there's the tariff now.
And I think that you and I were having a conversation last night that was pretty interesting. not only are there people in America that love buying American-made products, they love supporting American companies. There's a lot of people who are a little bit sketched out about what DJI might be potentially doing with certain information that is given to them through flight logs, through photos, potentially put back on their servers. I think now more than ever is a time where an American company can come in, swoop through and take advantage of what's happening, because the tariffs open up the gap so much. It's just crazy to think. We always talk about it, but there's such little competition in this space, and the sad part is, even though these prices have gone up on these drones, they're still probably going to sell.
Well, you know what I was thinking, and not just talking about DJI's tariffs, is that, Autel was not doing exports to other countries. They didn't have a worldwide launch for the Evo. And a lot of people would complain that they would have to buy the product from the US and have it imported into their country. And they would have to pay duties and things like that when they would do so. However, I think this is a prime time for Autel to expand their launch beyond the US, because now you're dealing with tariffs. So they need to be selling to like Australia, the UK. They need to stock those dealers and focus on the international sales more than just the US, because with those tariffs, if they don't want to have to bundle products and worry about price decreases and all this stuff, that would be a good tactic for them to go. But we do need a rise of a new competitor. We need somebody that's going to be here in the States, US based. I know people have said in the past couple of podcasts, watch out for Skydio. I don't know if that's necessarily the right people, because their products have inherently been very expensive.
They have been expensive. I think that a lot of it is just because of the tech that's packed inside. They're trying to make their money back on, the investment they've put into engineering time. Are there drones made in the United States, Skydio?
I don't know if they are. The only drone that I knew recently that I saw that was a US-based drone was Teal Drone.
Who is that?
Teal, T-E-A-L.
Okay.
They were a startup. I don't think they ever did anything really relatively interesting, because they were like $1,500 and there was nothing impressive about them. So I don't think they did very well, actually.
I just don't think that drone that Skydio came out with is something that people necessarily want. Like there was no part of me that said, wow, I really want this Skydio drone, because first of all, I don't even think that it came with a controller.
No.
Correct me if I'm wrong here.
Nope, it did not.
That's how I like flying my drone. I don't want something that goes up in the air and follows me. And it just didn't have like a cinematic look to it. And I think that they tried to market that to the wrong group of people. Like they tried to market that towards drone flyers, when drone flyers want something that they can actually fly. They don't want something that just follows them around.
I agree. It would be cool if you can set, points, low-level points of interest with that, and set it on a course to fly something, and it's going to avoid obstacles, not necessarily follow somebody. That would have been cool. But yeah, I agree. I think most flyers or people who are enthusiasts of this hobby like to be in control of whatever it is that they're creating. And that just didn't do it. And again, at a $2,300 cost, I think at the time it was released, that's a gut check. That's a lot of money to pay for a product like that. And the footage just didn't look all that impressive.
It almost looked like GTA, like a third-person GTA look that was like right behind you.
Yeah.
But again, that's not something that I want to do. I want a drone that I can fly around, and I think that Skydio has the means to make like a competitor to something like a Mavic if they just kind of change their mindset. But again, we've just got to wait and we've got to look. I'm doing a little bit more research here on DJI's site, and I'm not sure what the price of their FPV kit was in the beginning, so I don't know.
I think it was $899 on that kit.
Okay, well I'm seeing like $929 now, although I don't know.
They may have went up a couple of bucks. It seems like some things they increased subtly, just really a really soft price increase. And then what's weird is the Osmo Pocket. You can now get an Osmo Pocket for $319. That's the cheapest it's ever been.
I think that, getting away from drones, but still talking DJI here, their Osmo line has really been catering towards the consumer. Like
it's got to. The Osmo line has always seemingly been towards consumers, but then that's why they have the Ronin line. Ronin is for professional, Osmo for consumer.
I understand that, but I would love to have a fully integrated system where you basically get like a handle and not just a stick to put the camera on, but a well-designed handle where you can put your X7 or your X5S on top and be able to shoot video with that. I mean, including that in a kit with the Inspire 2 really could be a good thing for them. And they always had like the Osmo Pro Raw or whatever. But yeah, I really do see this Osmo lineup going towards the consumer level. And I even hate to bring this up here, but did you see Osidalev tweet something about an Osmo Pocket Pro with a 1-inch sensor?
I didn't, but I mean nothing shocks me anymore that they do. I mean, again, when it comes to this type of tech, it seems like they are trying to define themselves more as like a camera accessory company, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not mad about it at all. I mean, I use their gimbals, I love it, but a 1-inch sensor would be pretty cool on the Osmo. I think that would be on the Osmo Pocket, provided, and I'm gonna say provided that the focal length isn't like in your face. It's got to be a like. I want at least a 94-degree field of view on that lens. The next one because if you're gonna vlog with it, I mean, come on, it needs to be acceptable, not in your face.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Osmo Pocket also was just too small. You know what? There's something to be said about continuing to like leave a little bit of bezel room on like the screen of like iPads, because you just need something to hold on to. It can't be to a point where it's like uncomfortable to hold. And the Osmo Pocket I always felt was like too small, like uncomfortable to hold. Like, yeah, it fits so well in my pocket, but when I brought it out, like I almost felt like I wanted to design a 3D printed grip for it.
Yeah, I just don't know where the Osmo Pocket fits in my lineup of cameras anymore. Because when I think of like vlogging, initially when I got it, I was like, okay, this is going to help me vlog, easier and not feel so like people are looking at me type of thing. But I mean, I just break out my camera or whatever, or the Osmo Action. Like if I'm going somewhere and I want to vlog, I bring the Osmo Action because I think the Action, just the image quality is really good. I really do like it, and it's easier.
Yeah, I agree. Getting back to these drones though, the one thing that I'm so surprised about is the increase on the Inspire 2 price, bumping this up now to $3,500.
I don't think many people would notice that though, from a consumer perspective though. I mean,
you're right, because commercially available products are always going to be more expensive, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's $14,000 for the Inspire 2 Premium, and that comes with the camera ready to ship, ProRes RAW, the whole deal. And then you got the Inspire 2 Professional, which is $11,000. I mean, anybody who's buying any one of these, I mean, they're probably going to be a company for most. I mean, I don't think many singular operations are going to be buying, these. I could be wrong, but I would venture to think that you're going to be a company. You're probably going to write this off. An increase in price, it's, par for the course, I guess. But, the consumer line, that's where it really matters, though.
I know, because I think that this is going to turn a lot of people away. I can't believe it, man, especially the Mavic 2 Pro going up to $1,749. I mean, it's something that's almost out of reach, and I always saw the Mavic lineup as like something that someone could go with and still get a powerful drone. But if you wanted to pay anything more, like $1,700, you'd go with like a Phantom, or you'd go with like they have the Inspire 1 still that you could probably pick up for around $1,700. But
yeah,
$1,700 for a Mavic 2 Pro that is 1 year old, it makes me wonder what the price of like a new drone that DJI would come out with would be.
It's, and that's sort of what makes me believe we may not see a new drone for a little bit now, because of these price increases, unless if this is part of their tactic that they're sitting here, they waited for these price increases, and they say, okay, we see where we're at. We're going to produce a lower end product that's going to be able, because let's put it this way: if they came out with a new drone tomorrow for, we'll say, $600, and it was essentially the quality of a Spark, but with the camera of a Mavic Air, right? Mm-hmm. People are going to buy that. People will buy it because it's DJI, it's their latest and greatest, and of course they're going to have everybody and their mother advertising it. But I mean, I wonder if this is the reason why. We heard stories and rumors that we'd see something this month, that there was something coming down the pipe this month, and I haven't seen anything. It's been quiet, but you never know with DJI.
For like the Mavic Mini, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm thinking like the Mavic Mini. And here's the other thing: like every time they have an event, you can always tell like what they're going to market towards, because if you see that, the graphic and it's got that like cartoony thing, you already know it's consumer. Like you already know it's going to be consumer. There's nothing serious about it. It seems like their events are very predictable.
I agree, and if you look back at the previous events, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this a couple of times, but all of their professional events all of their events held that are geared around professional products are held in Los Angeles, but the only real event they've had in Los Angeles was the Inspire 2 and the Phantom 4 Pro. But again, those are their professional platforms. And then the consumer level products like the Mavic 2, which, prosumer, the Mavic 2, the original Mavic Pro, the Spark, the Osmo Pocket, all of those were released at events held in New York City. So New York is like their consumer-based product launch area, and then LA is their professional product launch base area. So you can always kind of tell depending on where it's being held also. But as of recent, they've been releasing these products without events, which makes me wonder if that's a thing of the past, maybe if they're going to only reserve it for certain big products. But it also makes me wonder why they had one for the Osmo Pocket, but not one for the Osmo Action. I mean, the Osmo Pocket doesn't seem like this massive revolutionary thing.
No, definitely does not. And I don't know. I mean, it's sort of funny how people worry about regulations choking out a hobby, and here we have these price increases that can almost do the same thing, probably quicker than the FAA can.
Mm-hmm. Well, probably something we should have talked about in the beginning is what is the percentage on these prices, or on these tariffs? So I think it's really complicated, because you have to remember that we're dealing with compacted tariffs. So back in May, there was a tariff increase of 10%. There was another round of tariff increases shortly after that raised it to 15%. So essentially you're looking at like a 25% tariff increase. And I don't know what the overall percentage is. It's different across different products. And now we're facing another round of 10% increases. So, I mean, again, there's no exact figure. It's sort of in a gray area, and if you try to research it, you're just going to be really confused as to what you're actually paying for, how it works. Because here's the problem, is that the currency is devalued to an extent. So you have the translation from Chinese currency to US currency, which affects what these percentages of tariffs are because of the devalue. It's so hard to understand.
It's crazy
for me. Like, it's hard to wrap my mind around. I just kind of look at the price and figure out how much more people have to pay. And that makes me wonder, I guess in the beginning, there was all this talk of tariffs and how we saw the Mavic 2 Pro increase $50. I guess their whole entire motive behind that was maybe to get more people to buy it up front at that lower cost. Or maybe just they actually thought that the Mavic 2 Pro, like they went back to the drawing board and they say, well, look, this thing is worth this. We've got to charge this. We've got to charge an extra $50.
Here's my biggest problem with it all, is that these units are probably costing them anywhere between, and I'm going to be generous towards them, maybe $450 to $600 to build. That's what these units cost. And I'm talking about controller to drone itself, $400 to $600. Then if you want to factor in marketing and packaging and labor, you're maybe at a relative cost of, let's say, I'll be generous again and say $800.
So $800 for the whole thing.
$800 for the whole thing if you factor in marketing, advertising, all that jazz.
Research and development too.
Research and development, $800. And the research and development costs should go down after a period of time of sale and purchases, because that's going to pay for itself. So that's something that depreciates. So $800 in total, and you're selling these for $1,700. That's almost over a 50% margin after you factor in tariffs. So even if DJI could squeak away with, let's say, $300 to $400 in profit per unit, that's still pretty good. You got to understand, like, you're not going to be able to make 50 or 60% margin on things like this. This is tech. They cost a certain dollar amount. You're not going to make that money. And then you have to factor in the retailers that are going to be selling this, and they're going to be selling it to them at wholesale prices, like the Best Buys and B&H Photos. They have a margin. So I don't know. I think there's a sense of greed, and my biggest fear is that after these tariffs are done and over with and we reach a negotiation, because let's face it, it's going to happen. We're going to reach a negotiation because there's other companies that are being affected by this. Are they going to lower these prices? I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to lower the prices back down.
Maybe you can speak on this, and I don't know if you will be able to, but DroneWorks, are they increasing their prices?
Yeah, so our prices should be reflective of the tariffs. Yeah, they ask us, obviously when you're a dealer, like, and you're selling a represented product, DJI basically mandates that your prices match their website. We're trying to do what we can. Like, we're still not going to be charging tax. We're still not going to be charging for shipping. So if you're trying to buy from Amazon, you're going to pay tax depending on your state laws. But we're trying to find ways to skirt these tariffs because we have existing stock, and that's why I brought that up. It's not fair because we already have product on our shelf that we paid X for, but now they want us to raise the price, and we shouldn't necessarily have to do that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the DJI Mavic 2 Pro here on B&H Photo. It is still $14.99. So if you buy the Mavic 2 Pro from B&H Photo, it's still that original $1,500.
Keep in mind, yesterday was the Sabbath. They're a Jewish company, so they're probably not going to increase their price until tomorrow. So the reality is they will honor those prices for you. So I'm looking at our website now, and actually no, we didn't raise the price yet. The Mavic 2 Pro is $14.99 on DroneWorks' website. You can get a Mavic 2 Pro with a smart controller. This is a steal. This is an absolute steal. Mavic 2 Pro with smart controller, $18.99.
Okay, that's a
damn good steal.
That is a definite steal. I'm even looking here on B&H's website, $27.99 for the Inspire 2 quadcopter. So that is like $700 less than what DJI is selling it for, and you can even buy it for less, for like $23.78 used. So you made a good point though about it being the Sabbath. What's another retailer that sells these drones? Maybe like Apple. Like,
you got Best Buy that's selling these drones too.
All right, how about you check Best Buy? I'm gonna check Apple.
Check Best Buy.
So I'm on Apple's website, and you've got to imagine that Apple's going to increase the prices right away. That's just them.
I wonder how many of our subscribers ever bought a drone. From Best Buy.
Best Buy, I have.
From Apple, I should say. I've never walked into Apple and said, I would like to buy a drone. Look, on Apple,
the Mavic 2 Pro is still $14.99.
Okay.
The Mavic 2 Zoom is still $12.49, and the Mavic Air is still $800. Now, going back to, I've got all these tabs open with all these different drones.
So on Best Buy is still $12.49 and $14.99.
Okay, so they didn't increase the price either. The Mavic 2 Intelligent Flight Battery direct from DJI is $159, and if you buy it from Apple, it is $139. So it's like what, $20 less. So the tariffs the tariffs, if you buy from anywhere else right now, you are going to be able to get these drones at the old price point. I don't know how long this is going to last. It could be different for different companies. Maybe even if you go on here, their website isn't changed yet. But if you like purchase the Mavic 2 Pro and you bring it to your cart, maybe it'll show $17.99.
I'm wondering if the reason why these prices have not gone up is because they still have existing stock. And basically, you know, with a retailer as big as Best Buy, I'm sure they can be like, listen, we're not going to increase our price while we have additional stock. We need to give ourselves a, you know, some sort of added competitive edge, because, you know, for Best Buy, every little bit is going to help, especially when you're competing against Amazon. And I just brought it to my cart. If I was going to check out right now, it's still $12.49, no increase.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing on Apple. Did the prices
now their batteries
raise on Amazon?
their batteries are priced up to $159 though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, the Mavic 2 Pro is still $14.99 on Amazon as well. So look, if you go anywhere right now other than DJI's site, you're going to get it for those old prices. But again, I've got no idea how long it's going to last. It could be different for these different companies. And I wonder now, because these retailers, like if you buy it from Apple didn't go and buy it from DJI for $14.99. They got some sort of bulk retailer distributor discount. I wonder what those prices on the back end are now going up for these people who are buying them, like these resellers.
I'm sorry. I was sorry. I just sidetracked it. DJI just emailed me about that whole deal I've been going through. They want me to send. Oh, okay. They want me to send them swelling batteries via UPS.
I don't think that's gonna fly.
Yeah, I don't either. And they want them to go to their warehouse. So, I mean, I guess if they go ground, that'd be okay.
That's weird. Yeah. Well.
So that's
you
weird.
Just
so
totally made me lose my train of thought.
Sorry, man. Smart controller though, $749 on Best Buy's website.
It's been $749.
That's been like that
while,
for a bit. Yeah, the pricing doesn't make sense. The only thing I can figure is that they have stock of certain items, but batteries seem like something that they have to rotate pretty regularly. Mm-hmm. It almost like it's for me like batteries. I think like automotive terms. We used to keep batteries on consignment because you would always have to rotate them out. They couldn't sit on a shelf. They had a shelf life. Mm-hmm. So for me, I wonder if that's the reason why the batteries went up first at Best Buy, is because they have a shelf life.
Here's something that I just thought of, and I'm just trying to sort through all of my tabs here. The batteries for the Inspire 2. Okay, the batteries for the Inspire 2 did. Oh, never mind. They did. I was actually looking on that search page. They didn't update yet. So the Inspire 2 batteries have gone up in price from $159 to $189. So what? That's a price increase of $30. And remember, you've got to buy 2 of them if you want to fly your drone. So it's now going to be what? $189. That's $190. You're going to end up paying $380, maybe, whatever. I'm not that good at math. $380, something like that. $380, $378. That's in my cart right now. I was actually going to buy some more Inspire 2 batteries the other day, which I probably should have, considering now I've got to spend more on them.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money, dude. I mean, this all adds up at the end of the day. I was gonna buy more batteries too. Like I was gonna get I wanted to have it like a total of 5, and now I'm sort of pausing. Like I don't want to spend $159. Well, I'm gonna go to Amazon really quick.
Yeah, just go to Amazon. I'm looking at it right now on Amazon. It's still $138, and you know wherever you go, it's going to be less than what DJI sells. Now, this does bring up the point: is like, do you buy direct from DJI or do you buy from one of these resellers? Like, what is better? What do you prefer? Like, do you prefer buying from DJI direct or from a reseller?
I don't like buying from DJI direct because typically I can't get my product very quickly. Sometimes I'm going to pay tax on things depending on where it's being shipped to. And my other problem with buying from DJI is trying to deal with returns. And you can't call into support. Like you just can't, you never get they handle everything via email or chat, which really drives me nuts. So if I have a problem, you know, it's like pulling teeth to get anything handled a lot of times. And you almost got to threaten them over Twitter or something, or publicly. You got to publicly shame them sometimes to get them to do anything, which sort of it shouldn't be like that. Good customer service should just come standard.
So I can say that whenever I buy my stuff, I buy from Best Buy. There's no plug here. There's no advertisement. Trust me. But Best Buy is just the area or the route that I would rather go. Exactly. You walk in, it's right there, you get it. I'm actually, like, where I live is so close to Delaware that I drive down to Delaware, I buy it tax-free, and then I come back to PA. And that's so awesome, especially like where I live. It's crazy. Like, once you cross the Delaware border, there is a ton of shops there because everybody knows you just go across the border, buy your stuff, and especially when it's like an electronic, saving on tax. Like, I bought my computer down in Delaware. It's $4,300 laptop just because I upgraded the storage at the time, and I saved on like $300 or $400 on taxes just picking it up at the Christiana Mall, Delaware store.
That's pretty nuts, man. I should take advantage of that next time I'm up there.
Yeah, for real. Just save up your money and buy everything when you're in Delaware. But that's another thing is like getting to deal with Best Buy directly. If I've got an issue with my product, I go to Best Buy, I say this is the issue, and they pretty much give me a return or an exchange with no questions asked. Even with this microphone I'm recording into right now, the Samson G-Track Pro.
Yeah, I remember that.
It just didn't work right the first time, and I just brought it in and I got a new one right then and there. I didn't have to do anything. It was awesome.
Amazon's pretty much like that too. Like I've every time I buy something, and let's say if it doesn't work, I literally walk into a Kohl's store now, I return it to Kohl's, and like in 10 minutes later, I'm getting an email back from Amazon saying that they've issued me a refund for that product. I can't obviously get an exchange of the product, but I mean, it works like that. I mean, there's a lot of people that have gone to a no hassle, and that's sort of like, that's why like when I'm buying my drone stuff, obviously I work with DroneWorks pretty closely. I'll get it from them, because if I say something to Zach like, oh, this doesn't work, usually he doesn't even say nothing. I have an email, in 24 hours that the new product's on its way. So I don't know. I made a video about not buying direct from DJI, and I've stuck to my guns on that I'm not going to buy direct from DJI anymore. I just don't see the point of it.
There's a huge reason not to now, and it's because everything is cheaper everywhere else, and it's not like just a little bit cheaper. It's like hundreds of dollars cheaper right now.
Do you think I wonder, here's what I wonder. I mean, I wonder what percentage they pay to ship their own products. Like, how cost effective is it for them to run their own logistics versus if they would just take a different approach to where they say, okay, we're going to just have distributors and distributors only, and the distributor's going to handle all of our logistics, all of our shipping. At what point, we're not maybe going to make as much, but are we going to save elsewhere? I mean, is it easier? I don't know. I feel like they should stock these people up with product, and brace for the storm. They knew that this was going to happen. They knew this was going to happen. Or why does the product have to come directly from China? Can't you ship it to another company? I mean, I don't know how it works. And forgive me for anybody listening. I don't know how this works, like shipping it to another country and then having it shipped into the U.S. I don't know if it works like that.
Yeah, we just fly drones. We don't ship stuff.
Yeah, we don't ship stuff.
But it is interesting because we knew that it was happening, and we know that DJI has these warehouses in the United States that things can be held at. In fact, I'm pretty sure as of recent, like their most recent opening was in New Jersey to service the East Coast. So they ship stuff to here, and then it gets shipped from there when you purchase things in the United States. So why not load up? Why not stock up over here and brace for the storm? Just like you said, we were talking about these tariffs forever. I feel like even in the news, it's been a thing. And for them to even put it into place early, I mean, they're one of the first companies to really do this that I know of. I actually went over to Unique. I wanted to go see what their prices were. Now, I don't have a basis on what their prices are on their drones because I just don't research Unique drones. But their Mantis Q, the Typhoon H Plus, the Breeze 4K, and the Typhoon H Pro and the Typhoon H are all out of stock. You cannot buy these drones on their website. The only drone that they have for sale right now is the Typhoon 4K RTF, and the Mantis Q X pack, which is like an updated, I guess, whatever. They've got like all these different accessories in there. It's like the Fly More package, but literally all of their drones are out of stock on their website. That's just so funny.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they're not even. I don't even know how they can compete at this point. When you factor in tariffs on them, I mean, nobody's looking at Unique. It's fine. I trolled them so hard on Twitter too.
Their drones are already pretty expensive. I mean, their Typhoon H Plus, $1,900. Typhoon H Pro is $1,500. We could see a pretty good price increase on that. I don't follow Unique enough to know if they're even going to increase their prices.
People got there's a couple of people on that video when I made the tariffs that they were like, oh, you're telling people to buy now, like the sky is falling. And it's like, all right, well, if you've been thinking about buying a drone, if you've been thinking about upgrading your Mavic, like your original OG Mavic or Phantom, yeah, I was being dead serious that, you're not going to get a good deal on it like around Black Friday. I mean, unless if they take a hit and say, we're willing to take a hit on price, around Black Friday, but you're still only going to get it for the same price. You're probably going to, get it for, what it was previously or what it is right now. I mean, I don't see them, cutting it down that much. So that's why I urged people that if you were going to do it. But now, like, looking at the price and like, just do it anywhere but directly.
Oh yeah. And you know what? You were talking about like, don't sell direct, just ship it to these distributors and stuff. That's one thing that I kind of hate about certain companies. Like, I think one company I'm thinking of as an example is SanDisk, I believe. Like, when you go to SanDisk's website, I don't think you can order direct.
No, they have distributors.
Yeah, exactly. So you go to shop.sandisk. Let me just try to buy this SD card here. Okay, it does look like you can check out right here, but I remember a while ago going to SanDisk's website and it was like, here's where you can buy, and then you had to take that extra step. Like, I don't like that. I like when a company offers their own direct.
Yeah.
In this case with DJI, probably not, because their prices went up so high. But
yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, it's nice to buy directly from a company. I mean, there's been numerous sites that it sends you to a hyperlink to, I don't know, somewhere else anyways. But I don't know. I just feel like in a whole, I think that distributorship would help DJI tremendously in not having to worry about warehouses, logistics, or storage. I mean, it could save a little bit, but I think it's just a bold move for them to increase the prices way ahead. And I really do believe like Best Buy pushes back with things. Like, I don't know what event we were at. They were talking about a leak, and somebody asked them if they were gonna penalize Best Buy, and the guy just sort of chuckled. He was like, "Why? They're our biggest distributor."
Yeah, you don't penalize Best Buy.
You don't penalize Best Buy.
So look, the tariffs are pretty crazy. These prices are up a lot across the board. It seems like all of the cameras you can buy for the Inspire, all of the drones that you can buy from DJI are up. The batteries are up. The accessories are up. So if you want something, if you've been thinking of something, maybe take this time that things are less expensive at Best Buy to go and just pull that trigger and say, okay, well, you know what? I really wanted this Mavic 2. Let me pick it up right now because I know I'm going to buy it soon. And I know that I'm going to be able to save some money right now, because you can save a good amount of money. If you're looking to buy a Mavic 2 with the Fly More kit, with some extra batteries on top of that, and maybe you want to go with the smart controller, I mean, you can save some serious cash going somewhere else rather than waiting for the prices to go up across the board.
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, just Price Shop. There's a great app that you can install in your browser, and I'm not sponsored. We're not sponsored. I wish we were, but I use Honey actually to, like, I'll put a link for a product in, and then Honey goes and tracks the cheapest price.
Yeah, that I've heard of it. I haven't used it. I'm pretty sure my girlfriend uses it.
It's really good. So, I mean, just if you are interested in buying one, I mean, of course, there could still be potential, and we're not saying that they're not going to release anything because of the tariffs, because obviously they have been. It's just they're probably factoring the cost. There's got to be some strategy on the inside that we obviously don't know about.
No.
I think that'll wrap this one up, though.
Yeah, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, that's it, man. Just sort of weird. It really does suck.
I know I'm really upset for people who are potentially thinking about getting in here and they can't because the prices have been increased. So we'll see what happens. I do hope that this whole trade war thing comes to an end. Just kind of speaking politically here, because it's having an effect on not only like the drone industry, but think about it like cell phones or gaming consoles, Xboxes, PS4s. I mean, there's going to be across the technology industry a real change, and it's going to suck. So.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, the telltale sign will be, after these new phones release, to really see like what's going to happen. It's all an arms race, I guess, essentially.
I know, it really is. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one. Also, later. I know this is going up later on Labor Day, so hopefully you enjoyed your Labor Day.
Take it easy, guys.
Have a good one.